All right, it's appearing on Restream. Is it appearing on Twitch? Then is it appearing on YouTube? It doesn't look like it's appearing on YouTube.
No, I see it on YouTube.
Well, it's not the one I wanted it to be, because I'm assuming it doesn't say the right information.
Yugioh remote dual fiber full combo.
See? Wrong info. Definitely not the thing
You're
I just
remote
filled out.
You're remote dueling on YGOPRO.
Yeah, super. Now I have to download it afterwards and edit out the beginning and the end and stuff. So, silly thing. Alright. Make sure it's on Twitch as well, because I've been on here in like a week. Channel's offline. Stupid. I'm not offline. Literally live. Alright, so it's on. Channel's offline. Stupid. I'm not offline. That. And alright. Copy and paste. So copy and paste all the right info, and then clever load.
I don't know if I should be telling you this now or when the stream starts, but zones will kind of matter.
Zones will matter? Did you read my big list of things to not do?
Like, I'm gonna repost it originally.
Okay. Well, one of them was, if zones are going to matter, don't assume I won't. So, telling me is the important thing.
Yeah, I'm asking if I should do it now or when the stream starts.
Well, we'll do it when we're rolling.
Alright.
Alright, just closing some additional files, so I just have to make sure the YouTube stuff has the correct info now. It may. Nope, still says the wrong stuff.
That is correct.
Now I make these nice thumbnails so that people see them, and then it just insists on using all the wrong information. Alright, guess I'll have to fill in most of this later, just put the thumbnail. Alright, I save the update. Please tell me it worked. It now says how to play ice barriers. Fantastic. We should get rolling in 2 seconds.
Okay.
Alright, do you have the stream open just so you can monitor it? Because my computer is like overtaxed with all the things I have open, so I'm just trying to close more stuff.
I mean, I can watch it on my phone, just mute the phone.
Yeah, that would work. I mean, I could probably do that too, but just trying to have as few things on as possible.
Alright. No, I have it on my phone, but it is muted, so.
Alright. Now I'm going to press a button and it's going to like kill my computer. Let's press this button and kill my computer. Just to record at the same time as... Nope, that did not.
Streaming.
That is not going well. The idea was to cut the music later by having it in a different track. But I guess that's going to kill the computer. Alright, so, well, if it can handle at least one thing, I'll take it. I can just pull it off of a YouTube later. So I guess we'll get rolling. Alright, hello and welcome to the Legacy Crusaders YouTube channel. This is Benji, and today I'm joined by Yuri. Say what up, Yuri.
Hello.
All right, so Yuri is going to teach me how to play Ice Barriers. If you're not familiar with the series, someone comes on with a deck list, which we will have on screen right now. They tell me how to play out our hands over a few games on YGOPRO, where I ask the questions that you, the audience, may have. Now, unlike previous episodes, this episode is live. So if you have questions about the Ice Barrier deck, feel free to ask them in the chat. We may have to force activation during our opponent's turn to pause to answer questions. They will show up on screen, but in case we cut certain parts of this out, certain things might not make it in. So feel free to ask, but we might not get back to you immediately just because we will be distracted while playing and talking through combos. So we have a new Ice Barrier structure deck. I have no idea what any of these cards do, so this could be one of those bad episodes just because, well, one, it's Ice Barriers, so there's always a possibility. I mean, it is notorious for being the worst deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! For some reason. Secondly, I haven't read them, which I've had to redo a video before. It was my fault because I did not read up on the cards in advance. It was for the How to Infinitrack Train deck that I did with Aerosol, and we redid it because I didn't understand what I was doing, so I couldn't ask appropriate questions. So I'm going to make sure I have an idea of what these cards do as we go. So if you're new to the series, we'll do a quick card by card, and then we're going to play a few games on YGOPRO. So firstly, we're playing 2 copies of General Wayne, 3 copies of Revealer, 2 copies of Skullmeister, 1 copy of Strategist, 3 copies of Speaker, 2 copies of Silent Angler, 1 Warlock, 1 Defender, triple Ash Blossom and Ice Barrier, double Prior of the Ice Barrier, 1 Crystron Citri, which apparently people are starting to buy out, so you might want to make sure you get one of these if you are trying to play the Ice Barrier deck, 1 Zuijin.
I just pronounce it Zushin, usually.
Zushin. All right, 1 copy of Zushin. I'll cut me saying it the wrong way. 2 copies of Hexa, Spirit of the Ice Barrier. 3 copies of Winds of the Ice Barrier, which you'll recognize from the thumbnail. 1 copy of Foolish Burial. 1 Monster Reborn. 3 copies of Medallion of the Ice Barrier. 1 copy of Salvage. 1 Called by the Grave. 3 copies of Clear of Freezing Chains of the Ice Barrier. And 3 Infinite Impermanents. In the extra deck, we're on Trishula, 0 Dragon of the Ice Barrier, 1 Satellite Warrior, 1 Crystron Phoenix, 1 Trishula Dragon of the Ice Barrier, 1 Adamancipator Risen Dragite, 1 Shooting Riser Dragon, 1 Powered Exectron. As far as I know, this card sucks, but I do know it is important for this kind of deck. 1 Brionac, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, 1 Crystron Quandax, 1 Bahamut Shark, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Totally Awesome, 2 copies of Coral Anemone, 1 Crystron Halki Fibrax, actually summoning a Crystron. In the side deck, we're on 3 copies of Nibiru, 1 copy of Dino Wrestler Pankratops, triple Droll and Lockbird, 1 Harpies Feather Duster, 1 Mind Control, triple Dark Ruler No More, and 3 A Pointer of the Red Lotus, which apparently comes in the Ice Barrier structure deck, which I may never get. So, Yuri, I don't know the idea of what these cards do, so if you can give me the quickest rundown of what each one's general role is. Like, what is the role of General Wayne?
General Wayne is mostly he's not an essential part of the main combo, but he's really good when you're going second because of his own special summoning condition. His floodgating effect is by far the best one because it banishes spells and traps your opponent controls go to the grave instead of going to the grave, they're banished, which is pretty useful in this format with Eldritch. And he searches an Ice Barrier background summon, which you do part of an extended combo, but he's not part of your main combo. Revealer is your bread and butter card of the deck, being able to pitch a card to summon in your Ice Barrier tuner for the deck. And then its second effect, being able to banish to act as a discard or a send, is nice for Strategist. Skullmeister's generic hand trap. Strategist is mostly summoned off wins, and then another one, I think it's Speaker now. Yeah. Speaker is also another important card, just a free summon from the hand, and you can banish it for a tuner, which is not tuner, a token that is level 1 that is very important for either extending or to make Trishula.
Which Trishula?
3
All of them?
the zero Trishula.
Can't wait to summon this. It looks fun.
You summon it on your opponent's turn. That's what makes it fun. Silent Angler is just another extender that can act as Vessel Mako. Warlock you play because you can send it to the graveyard with Hex Spirit. It is floodgating effect is anti-spell fragrance, and you can revive it back while you have the token, and your opponent's basically under anti-spell.
Yeah, the one time I played this deck, the one time I played against this deck, this particular floodgate was the pain in the butt. All right.
All right, Defender is mostly important just as a level 3 tuner. I know Team Sam in his video played, I think it was Geomancer or something like that, but I don't really care about the discard because I'm not playing Dragoons and such. Ash is just because it's a generic hand trap, and then Prior is mostly the way you summon General Wayne if you're going first, because you can attribute it to summon one from the grave. And then Zushin does the same thing, but instead of summoning from the grave, it summons it from the hand. And then Hex Spirit is your main tuner you summon off of Revealer, because whenever once per turn, you can send a level 3 or lower Ice Barrier from your deck to the grave, and it becomes the level of that monster's scent. And then Winds over the Ice Barrier, it's sort of like Big Wave, Small Wave, but instead of summoning from the hand, it summons from the deck. It's unfortunately locked to level 4 lowers, but that doesn't matter for the most part. Medallion is just a generic Rhoda. The only good card the deck had before the support, really.
Well, I was a big fan of Mirror of the Ice Barrier, but that was for punishing Trishalas.
And then the new one, Freezing Chains, is a monster reborn of sorts for level 4 lowers, and then it has a sort of protection effect. If you have 3 Ice Barriers, all your Ice Barriers are unaffected by your opponent's extra deck monsters. I'm pretty sure it's only a continuous spell because of Velorn.
Okay.
And then for the extra deck, the new Trishula kind of functions like the old Trishula, but instead of banishing 1 from each spot, it banishes 3 cards from your opponent's field, and then it floats if your opponent kills it into Trish. Unfortunately, it does not synchro float, it special floats, but it still summons Trish at 3300 and halves all your bonus monsters attack, which can be pretty devastating if they attempt to go into it.
That's okay. I think I'm more interested in just banishing 3 cards. I always felt like it was a little difficult to summon Crystron, Quarry, and Gandrax, which I think a lot of people are also looking into and buying out at the moment.
Yeah, Quarry Gandrax is a nice card and all. You can play it over something like Crystron Phoenix if you want, but I find Phoenix to be a lot easier to make, and Quarry Gandrax also targets, so yeah. Okay. I'd rather non-targeting banish my opponent's cards instead of targeting.
Got it. Alright, so now for the most part I have some idea of what these cards do, so when we get into the games, hopefully I'll be able to ask appropriate questions. Once again, we are live, so if anyone wants to ask questions about the deck in the chat or the plays we're making at any point, feel free to do that. I'm just going to take a quick look at my Discord because I'm getting notified of some things. I'm just hoping it's not important. It was not important. I'll just cut that moment. And we will continue as per normal. Alright, so we're going to get into some matches. Alright, Alright, so while I do have the timer set pretty high, be careful about not making a decision on a play right away, because our opponent will probably not wait for us. Alright, do we want to go first or second?
We want to go first. We want to go first.
Come on, combo. Did we open combo?
All right. This is sort of combo. It's not full combo, but it still works perfectly fine. What you want to do is you want to summon Hex Spirit first, because that's your only real line of play.
Does it matter where I put it?
No, not in this case. And then special summoning Speaker from the hand. Just so that way you can play around something like Ghost Ogre.
So it's just if we control a Ice Barrier, we can special it?
Yep, and then activating Hex Spirit's effect on the field. And in this case, I think the best target to dump, because we don't have much to send, would be Prior of the Ice Barrier. And then this is going to be a little crusty, but you're going to make Crystron Halka 5-Rex, since we have no way of making Toad at this current moment in time.
I've never heard of this card. Is it good?
It's alright. And then Hulk will then summon Citri from the deck.
Does it matter where it goes?
Not in this case.
Alright. Is that combo?
And then, is that it? This will set us up for later. At this point, you probably would want to Yeah, salvage for Hex Spirit and Prior. You want to keep. You need to keep Vessel. You need to keep Speaker and Grave for Citri. Because it's set impermanence. I don't. And then yeah, that should be about it for this.
All right, so we didn't open full
It's
combo.
it's a pretty unassuming board, but it does have interaction on your opponent's turn depending on what they're playing.
Okay. Well, hopefully it impresses, but you know, again, my expectations are low. Oh look, the guy who makes himself unaffected by trap cards. Well, infinite impermanence.
We don't want to respond here yet. Usually, whenever your opponent starts committing is when we want to fire off.
All right. Can we play around a Trident? Okay.
It depends if they are smart about Trident or not.
All right. Keep in mind we won't be able to imperm it because it has a ram, so it can negate the activation of.
Oh, he's just going for that play. All
right, so he's attempting to enter the battle phase. Do we have to wait? Can we wait for battle phase, or do we have to jump on this earth?
No. All the cards you're going to be activating can be activated during your opponent's battle phase.
All right, so we will let him go to the battle phase. Unless he's just bluffing battle phase. Oh, he's going for battle phase.
All right, and then when your opponent goes into battle phase, since we don't really want to worry about Divine Zeus, you're going to fire off Citri and then chain Halk, because none of the cards miss timing.
And what are we summoning with Halky Fibrax?
Kristron Quandax.
Citri is getting Speaker.
Yep. And this is why you play Power Inceptron. It is one of the two only generic level 6 machine synchros in the game.
So we synchro summon that with Citri and Speaker.
Yep.
And what do we do?
At this point, you will let it resolve it, then you can chain Quandax whenever they try to go for if they're going to go for the attack.
Oh, let's go. What do we go into? Satellite
and then
Warrior?
At this, yes, you got. Unfortunately, our opponent did not commit very much to the board, but you still get to pop their normal summon with Satellite Warrior, which will also boost his own attack to 3,500.
And normally we get 2,000. Well, we get to pop 2 cards. And
normally you would get 2 pops. Normally get 2 pops, and you go up to 4,500. But this also fades their battles phase. Opening the 1-off Reborn must be nice. I don't think we can do much in this position.
Well, they didn't get to battle, so at the very least they can't go.
That is good.
Zeus.
We do not have to worry about Zeus.
And unfortunately, they can also void this imperm.
That is rather unfortunate. Yeah. Satellite Warriors essentially served its use. Unfortunately, we do not have any Warrior Stardust or Synchrons in our grave.
Oh, who'd have thought that would happen?
Ah, there we go. That's top deck.
Huh, what is he? Okay, so what's the game plan?
So probably what you want to do is just fire off the Imperm on the Trident, so that way we don't have to worry about Trident.
Oh, we have to worry about Trident.
Yes, but it only has 1 material, so if it detaches to protect, it won't have any material, so it won't be able to pop.
Okay. I thought it had 1 more.
So that's 1 less card we have to worry about. Red Reboot. Oh, dang. I didn't see that coming. I guess he'd set another Impermanence from deck.
Interesting. Is there any way to play through this guy?
It depends on what he's going to do. Probably what your best bet is to summon Hex Spirit. Because we really don't need its effect anymore. And then if he doesn't do anything, activate Fire off General Wayne in the hand. Since your opponent controls a monster and you control an Ice Barrier, he's a free summon.
Inconveniently, he has more attack than Dryden has defense.
Yes. Also, I will say this guy opened 2 one-offs. Oh, he's firing up the Dryden now? Huh. Macro. Oh. This actually kind of doesn't matter at this point. You can summon it in any zone at this point. And then you can activate its effect to search an Ice Barrier spell or trap.
What would you recommend?
Since we've already used our normal summon, I would say you would probably want to grab Clear Wall. Or, I'm sorry, Windsor with the Ice Barrier. I'm used to their OCG, like, fan translations. Yeah, that one. Because that does not require you to go to... Oh, and they surrendered.
Obviously, we are way better than the, what do you call it?
The Macro Zoo player.
By the way, okay, we're at a... Oh, good, we lost connection. I'm glad we did, because according to YouTube, there are 9 people in chat, and at the same time, I can't see the chat on Restream, so I have to try and see what's up with that. So I don't know if anyone's chatting in chat, but I can't see them if they are.
No, no one has. Not
okay.
that I've seen.
So I'm just trying to make sure that it's working. I'll type in something just for a test. Could you type something in there just as a test? And if anyone could just say anything in the chat just to make sure that it is functional, that would be...
I can see you and I can see me.
Okay. Well, okay, good. I see you. See me. You make sure it's working on Twitch as well. And then we'll get continuing. Hello, Masked Hero YGOPRO. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions about the deck, feel free to let us know. All right, so we're going to get into our next game. Up. Looks like we're going to be up against Shigadai. Sounds like something crazy.
Hey, this is actually a good hand.
Well, I mean, we opened a Rhoda for any card in our deck.
I mean, that works.
Sounds good.
But we also have the Reborn and another Zoo. Zoo is quite popular right now.
Well, at least we get a game 2 out of it.
I imagine the Skullmeister is not going to be very useful in this matchup, unfortunately. Unless he decides to pop a Ram in the grave.
I guess it's possible. I mean, some people do try to do the Mega Clops stuff, although we probably don't have any other out for it, so letting him make it would probably be a bad play on our part.
Try to pass. Actually, this works to our advantage. First off, we're going to fire off Medallion, because we have no other way of doing anything else.
Alright, we're playing in the competitive server with Ice Barriers. This isn't going to bother anyone whatsoever.
And then we're going to grab Revealer.
Alright.
In Unbeknownst, we're going to normal summon the Revealer. Let's see if this baits out the Trident. It does not, so we're going to fire off Revealer, pitching one of these 2 copies of Winds in our hand, because we don't need both. Huh.
And
Summoning a Hexa Spirit.
Ah, we shrank his monsters. Very tiny.
It has the floodgating effect of dropping attack and defense by 500. Then we're going to fire off Hexa Spirit.
And what are we sending?
At this point, we do not need Prior, so we are going to send a Warlock. And then we're going to fire off Winds from our hand.
I've already forgotten what this one does.
Attributing both, it attributes any number of Ice Barriers to summon the same number from your deck. So we're going to attribute both of them off.
And then we get ashed. And then we lose the game?
Yes, and then you get ashed, then you lose the game. Then we're going to summon Strategist and Speaker.
I gotta get used to the names. They have all the wrong names on the screen, so it keeps confusing me. Alright.
And we're going to fire off, whenever our opponent's done responding, it'd be best to fire off Strategist for a free draw by banishing Revealer from the grave.
I'm sorry, which card? Strategist?
Yeah.
From your
because
hands
you don't
to
have
graveyard?
to. You don't need to because Revealer can pay the cost by banishing itself instead.
Oh, okay. I was very confused.
So yeah, you banish that and you just get a free draw.
I like free draws. That's good.
Oh, that's pretty good. Probably at this point we'd fire off Medallion again.
Is it time for Wayne?
Yes, we will be grabbing General Wayne this time.
I think General Wayne looks pretty sick compared to a lot of these other cards.
And then unbeknownst, we will fire off General Wayne.
I would have never guessed. Genuinely, I have no idea what I'm doing.
It's fine. General Wayne will search. Since we already have Freezing Chains, we might as well grab a Medallion, the last one. Because Medallion is not once per turn, funny enough. Alright, since we don't really want to have to worry about Trident, so we're probably going to go into the Bahamut line. If he's smart, he will pop Bahamut, but that does not matter at this point.
So using the 2 level 4s overlaying for
Yep.
Bahamut Shark.
Yep. If he does allow Bahamut, that is way good. I imagine it will not go through.
I would imagine there's no, like... he's getting a 2 for 1 because we had to overlay, so it makes sense to use it here.
Yep.
Alright.
That's fine, then. We will not be firing. We will be firing off Freezing Chains from the opener now, because that's the more important card you needed to resolve.
What is it summoning?
We will be summoning. We will be summoning off Hex Spirit because that's our only tuner right now.
Now he bells us. I would only imagine that we get belled only because Zoo is like a super hand trap heavy deck and he hasn't done one yet. Alright. Now what?
And then we're going to fire off the Medallion. Last Medallion in our hand. Grabbing us a... Here, go over some. We need to see what we got left. Okay. Since we haven't used Speaker in hand, we will grab Speaker. Because we summoned Speaker from deck, so now we can fire off Speaker from our hand. 5, 4, 1. That is 10, right? That is 10, right? Yes. All right. We fire off, make a Speaker, Spirit, Engrave. Summon the token. We will be going into at this point, since our opponent has not committed very much to the board, and since the Whiptail is a quick effect, it's probably Nibiru.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, what else was he not setting and not doing anything with?
I suppose that is fair. I did not expect such a late Nibiru, though. Well, we have 2 hand traps, so I suppose we'll just to pass our turn. Luckily, we do have another Speaker in Grave, so we do have a follow-up for next turn if we draw into an Ice Barrier.
That's good. Just so you guys know, the reason I've not been responding to chat is because this is being recorded for video, and we might need to cut some spots. So if you want to ask questions, we'll answer them just at, like, different moments. Should we try and keep him off having a zoo, or...?
That's probably the best idea. I imagine he's not. He's either not on the Eldritch part, or he didn't draw into any Eldritch because he didn't set any back row last turn. Oh, he is on the Tri-Brigade version of the deck. I have a relative grasp of these two.
Well, that summons one from hand.
I know it's grave effect. Doesn't matter. Morg.
That summons a floodgate.
I imagine he will chain block us on Nerval. Oh, he will not.
Guess we keep.
I imagine we won't. Probably we don't have much other choice because of. I'm surprised he did the draw effect. Honestly, I'd imagine the search off of Nerval would have been a lot more advantageous.
Maybe he drew the Garnet and he wanted to put it back in the deck, because that is what Fergus
That
does.
is.
So
that is fair.
That could be the barrier statue.
He's going to battle and walking over our board. The unfortunate part is Ice Barrier is not wind, it is water. So the summoning of the barrier statue can prove quite problematic.
But our monsters are all barriers. You'd think we can interact with barrier statue okay.
We top decked our best top deck, actually. So, unfortunately, we do not have a card in hand, but that is fine. We'll just normal Revealer. Probably tempted to just walk over the barrier statue. Because we don't really have much else in the way, and they did not summon Link Karibo.
Yeah,
I don't think Samorg doesn't protect it, right?
It protects it from targeting, which we are not doing.
Target. Well, they have something. Maybe they won't read it. It's hard enough, and they'll like veil it or something.
All right.
We will fire that off main phase 2. What we need to do is clear off the barrier statue before we can do anything. Because that is currently preventing us from doing anything. Main phase 2.
Now we can do things.
We're going to activate winds in the graveyard. And adding Mako. Actually, we will add General Wayne back to our hand. Because we have an Ice Barrier and our opponent controls a monster. And we have Freezing Chains in our graveyard.
We have Freezing Chains in graveyard?
No, we have Freezing Chains in deck. We have Speaker in graveyard. I misspoke. Oh. That is unfortunate. Well, our next line of play would probably just be to make Speaker effect engrave, of course. And then Link summoning, Coral, and Enemy. And then firing off its effect. Grabbing us a Hexa Spirit. This is the reason why I say zones kind of is because you can only summon to the zone it points to, so blocking off the zone is kind of problematic. We'll fire off Hexa Spirit. At this point, we will send a. We'll send not that one, the Zushin, because Zushin does have a grave effect. We can't use it this turn, but it would be great follow-up for next turn. And then we're going to make Halkify Rex.
Citri?
Summoning Citri, yep. And then pass it. Because we have a level 4 grave, so we just pass.
And now we lose to...
I will say, the deck has an incidental... Oh, yes, save, yeah.
Yeah, I figured that was going to happen. Well, that is the follow-up that they have when they...
That's why I wanted to grab Freezing Chains, because incidentally, you do have continuous spells to restrict that. Although, sadly, they would still have enough. But it just depends on what they decide to engage with Apex.
Well, I mean, let's say they negate Fiber. We just have Citri. Then we can go into what? Powered Exectron, I guess?
If we go into Insectron, we won't be dead because he can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, and you take no damage that turn.
And if you negate Citri, we have nothing, right?
Essentially. That's the unfortunate part. Although I imagine he would negate Halka Fiber. That card is a lot more terrifying in the current meta. He's going to threaten battle phase. That is A-okay.
Something tells me we should just surrender. I don't see any possible way to win the game. They'd have to be stupid, right?
That's fair. I mean, I'll leave that up to you if you want to surrender or not.
I'd rather move into the next game, rather than extending us through a game that we can only win if our opponent is moronic.
All right, we're going to be wanting to go first, so we'll probably just side out our impermanence for the pointer of the Red Lotus, considering a solid first option.
Right.
I don't think is Droll any better against this type of deck. I'm not very familiar with Zodiac.
If he tankies, he might have some trouble. It might be better than Meister.
Probably.
Guess that should be fine, right?
That looks fine to me.
Alright, just gonna address the chat for a moment. Masked Hero Yugioh. With the new support, do we see Medallion of the Ice Barrier taking any hits? No, it's an Ice Barrier deck. Don't see that happening.
While the deck is really fun, and it is way better than it used to, it is nowhere near meta.
Yeah, and Akeem, you know you're not going to learn. There's my roommates in the chat.
It stands a little crusty because we opened Double Reborn and Defender. While this deck is hyper consistent and it also bricks like this, so our best bet will probably just be set a pointer, set probably Reborn, so our opponent doesn't know we will have it, and setting Defender and hoping for the best. Because we can always just revive back Defender with our plethora of Reborn cards. And then we're probably just going to fire off the pointer.
Show them Droll and
Let's get a quick grab at the hand. Well, they have several ways of getting to Zeus. I imagine Tanky would probably be the best, so that way if they don't have access to Ram. Unless you think there is a better grab.
I don't think it matters.
True, it's probably just Tanky.
I think I agree that Tanky is probably the best pick for exactly the reason you said. But Tanky also, gets them into being drolled, so we could prevent them from drawing off of Thoroughblade.
That is true. Although,
drolling them now, what does it really stop? I mean, we're probably gonna just lose this game, which is fine. It happens. Although, could we have... now they got our Reborn, so, that backfired.
Well, we have the other Reborn in our hand, so it's not like it too much.
Well, it's not like if we opened a better combo, we were going to play through Imperm, Skullmeister, and Ash Blossom.
No.
And he opened one card combo. 3 of them.
The standard combo, you can kind of play through... with our hand, if we had a good hand, we could have played through at least, one hand trap sometimes, depending on what you have. No, not our Defender.
I mean, it's very important right now that we have that card.
I imagine they were just going to set up for...
I didn't use Dryden yet, so will they go Dryden or will they go Zeus? We don't have a lot of cards. I feel like Dryden is more than enough. Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, there's nothing we can really do.
We'll press the button and move on to another game.
I will say, even if we normal summon the... it has the effect of preventing your opponent from attacking if their attack is higher than its defense. which has, I think, 16 defense, but it would not have mattered because they could have just normal summoned Whiptail and beat over the same exact way.
Alright, going up against Nope. Nope to what? I don't know. Must be playing some Floodgate deck. Maybe they're on Mystic Mine. Who knows?
Not a bad hand.
Right.
It still looks bad, but it's actually fine. We will normal summon Hex Spirit. And attempt to fire off, Hex Spirit, of course. See if they will fall for a hand travel sword. We will be dumping. With our current hand, we will be dumping a Prior. We will then be firing off winds in our hand. Reading that. Summoning a Revealer. That is the best card. Well, then Revealer pitch Skullmeister. That's the weakest card in our current opener. Summoning another Hexa Spirit from the deck. And at this point, we'll firing up. We'll activate before you summon Hulk. We'll activate Salvage, adding them 2 back. All right, and we'll summon Prior from the hand first, because if you summon, it says restriction where you can't summon level 5 or higher, but that doesn't really matter. Now we'll go into Hulk using Hexa Spirit and Revealer. Summoning the Citri from our deck. There we go.
That's full combo?
Just pass turn. Yes. Well, it's a little crusty, but
Well, I admit to not being completely familiar with the combos, but I do know that this is probably Satellite Warrior. Is it also the Trish? Or?
It is either. It is not the Trish because it's not Trish, but it gives us a triple pop with Satellite. Not triple pop. It gets us a. I forget what I'm saying. EDD. We're probably fine with just letting that Dark Contract.
Well, the Satellite Warrior can hit a lot more stuff if we wait. Is the important part?
Yes. And of course, we can also make if our opponent is playing a variant where they want to pen summon and they start committing pendulum monsters to their side of the field, we can instead make Crystron Phoenix, which has the effect of banishing all your opponent's spells and traps from field and grave.
Fun.
Which is a pretty solid card. I've never seen them summon that one.
I haven't seen this guy in forever.
I know it's like Heavy Storm, but only during the standby phase.
Yeah, and it only hits Spell Trap Zone, so it doesn't hit Pendulum Zones, it doesn't hit Field Spell Zone. Coming from hand.
Unless he's going to try to make a rank 8 play of some sort.
That is a problem.
Alright.
I may have not held the button down, which is a problem.
Ooh. I was going to say we probably want to fire off.
Assuming it gives me the opportunity to, which hopefully it will. Okay, good.
Alright, here we go. Now we're going to fire off a Citri and Hulk.
In that order?
Yeah, they don't miss timing. So, to be honest, we're going to grab Skullmeister. So that, because Citri banishes the materials. So keeping Reveal and Grave for like a revival spell is pretty important. For here, we're going to summon out a Crystron Quandax.
Howard and Zectron.
Alright, and then we're going to fire off Quandax.
Should I let it resolve first? Does it matter?
No, it does not matter. They don't miss timing.
Okay. I keep asking just because I know there's so many of these Synchro Tuner plays that do that I just get so worried.
And then we're going to fire our Satellite Warrior, probably popping the Thomas and the Beowulf. honestly, I don't feel like playing against, because he's probably going to try to summon Yugioh, in which case we can't play.
Oh yeah, that's what I was terrified of, because I thought we missed the force activation, so Kali Yuga literally just... Kali Yuga is worse than Calamity, if you can make it, but it's hard to make, you know?
Yes. And then we can't quick synchro if we don't have it. Oh. I mean, I will say this is already a weird DDD player, considering he made Beowulf.
I mean, it's a DDD monster, it's also a level 8. It's an
I
easy...
suppose that's fair.
It's a fusion level 8 that's easy to summon, because I think the fusions that are level 8 require a DDD. Maybe he didn't want to use his big, what's his name, Big Genghis?
Do they have a 9?
I don't think so. He might, unless he wants to make, like, Vermilion Dragon Mech or something.
No, he's making... he can't use its effect because he already has 1 scale.
Oh, I thought he might try to crash to get his other effect.
Fortunately, we don't take any damage because of, what's his name? Hey, look, there he is. Alright, from here we're going to activate Winds in Graveyard. Grabbing back Revealer. Hopefully. Which... that card is not live, correct? Send a DD Dark Contract from hand to grave. Nope. So we're going to fire off Revealer. Using its effect, pitching Hex Spirit from our hand. Summoning, yep, Defender. And unfortunately, we cannot special summon Prior, no. We're going to Synchro. Not Link, Synchro, Link summon. Into Corlin enemy effect. Summoning back Prior. At this point, we're just trying to get damage on board because we do not have any way of making our synchros at this current moment. So we're going to fire off because he does float right into just a summoning from 1 from deck.
I'm pretty
if
sure
I'm not mistaken.
Let me read him thoroughly. If it's destroyed by battle with an opponent's monster, special a DD from your extra deck or graveyard in defense.
So yeah, we're going to summon. Unfortunately, we did not play any high link monsters. Just fire Prior. Oh, no, not that one.
Well, I did it by accident already. My bad.
The Prior on field, because it has a tribute effect to summon out. And then we're going to summon. I suppose at this point we will summon out, since we already committed, and it's not a bad idea. We'll just summon Defender in defense position. Because now, since we control another DDD, his monsters can't really attack. We can't make synchros because Prior locks you out of high-level monsters.
Oh, I thought we were going to overlay for Toad just to negate this guy.
You know, I forget their aquas. My bad.
Yeah, that's why I was doing that. That's why I clicked it. When you said fire it off, I'm like, oh, we're going to make Toad. We'll negate Genghis.
Honestly,
kill himself.
that play rarely comes up because I always forget their aquas. My mistake.
All good.
In this situation, you would have made Toad, so I guess you can just attempt to walk over it, I suppose, if you want to. I mean, it can't if it affects if. Well, I was going to say, do you even want to? Because
I don't know if it's going to matter.
It's
going to go off most likely eventually. We're going to have to out it. The question is, what card can he summon that's effective? Like, it'd be pretty funny if he just summons another Genghis. I think he can do that. I mean, Gilgamesh. I mean, Ragnarok might bring something back. Oh, he's probably got too many decisions to make in that full DD extra deck.
When you look at Prior, you just don't think he's an Aqua monster. What is that one?
That one is what would be the best way to describe it? Gearfried. When it attacks, it equips the monster it wasn't attacking, and then it like causes a replay and attacks again.
Ah, actually, this is fine. We can just pass turn.
So
because we can't really do anything. He can't attack with it because of Defender.
Okay, while you control another Ice Barrier monster, your opponent cannot declare attacks if their attack is greater than or equal to this card's defense. Well, that could pop Defender.
Well, he has to pay the maintenance cost, and he's choosing... Oh. I guess he did not read the Ice Barrier card.
Well, I mean, it's an Ice Barrier card. Or are we surprised?
That just sends another copy of itself from the grave, correct, Ghost?
Yeah. Well, it sends another copy of another card that's in the grave, I believe. If this card's sent to the grave,
yeah, he targeted Dark Contract with the gate. I don't think we care if he sends another copy.
That's bad for him if he wants to get rid of one of those best cards in his deck.
Yeah, I don't think we really care. He's probably gonna attack, and then realize he can't because of Defender.
Ah, sucker! Ice Barrier is too broken, too OP.
Konami, please ban Defender. It's too broke. Oh, he's just going too fast. Hey, we can make the Toad play if you want now, but
well, now we can't get over him.
What's that? That is fair. What is in our graveyard currently?
Prior, Revealer, Exo Spirit. Whoops. And the names on the cards are really throwing me off for the real names.
5, 6, 7, 9. There is a way to actually get over it right now if we wanted to.
Could we make the big Trish and Trish everything?
We cannot make big Trish, I believe. We can't make little Trish. Actually, Corlin Enemy is not... We can fire Corlin Enemy. I forgot. It's not on summon.
Yeah, once per turn. Should we do that?
Yep. Trish is water, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. So what should I get back, though?
Well, if you want to make Big Trish, we can make not. Actually, we can't make Big Trish because if you bring back Prior with it, we can then Freezing Chain bring back Revealer, and 2, 3 to 4 is 11.
Oh, so do that?
Yeah.
All right. So
because that'll banish its hold.
So Freezing Chain.
Summon Revealer. Don't summon it to the zone it points to. And then Corlin Enemy effect, summon back Prior from the grave. And then we synchro Big Trish.
Oh, Big Trish time.
People say Ice Barriers can't make their own synchros. Alright, and then we'll just wipe his field and attack for game.
We did it! Ice Barrier's OP! I mean, it helps he paid 2,000 life points in with his own card effects to get us there faster, but, you know.
It also helped that he did not repeat Defender and chose to pop Satellite Warrior.
Yeah, I mean, he would have just taken... I mean, you want to leave the big monster on the field, because you can take... you can equip it. Or you take control of it.
So we are most likely going to be going second, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
So, in this case... I don't think they can play through Nibiru. So if we open Nibiru, that's fine. We could probably side in Dark Ruler over Impermanence, maybe? Can they negate Dark Ruler? That's the question.
Technically possible.
Hmm.
If they make Siegfried and then they like have the trap, they can flip the trap and then chain Siegfried to negate it. But
I suppose.
I don't know how likely.
Yeah, you could probably side in Dark Ruler. Take out. Since we're going second, we can take out some cards we don't need going first. So probably take out Salvage, Warlock, and you can probably take out one copy of Winds, because Winds into a board state is just asking.
All right, let's go.
You know, the Warlock combo is only really useful going first. Oh, he made Oz go first?
Well, did we open combo?
This is actually pretty fine. We'll fire off should bait out any unsuspecting hand traps because we really don't want wins to get negated here. In this case, we will be sending to graveyard a probably just set up. Probably send a prior. We're going to normal summon speaker. And then activate winds over the ice barrier. Now this actually does let us make Synchro Big Trish on our opponent's turn.
Okay.
So we're going to summon Revealer. So activate the effect of Speaker in Graveyard. So that way just play around anything unsuspecting. Fire off Revealer then, pitching probably Skullmeister. Unless you think Ash is more, unless you think Skullmeister is DD matchup.
Well, he might not get the play going with an Ash, but I mean, I guess they're both good in the match, so.
We'll summon Hex Spear like always.
Well, what I was really thinking we do is we use her and then we get rid of Meister and then we Ash ourselves and then just lose. All right, just kidding. All right.
All right, we'll fire off Hex Spirit.
And what should we send?
Where we're sending to the graveyard is, since we already have a Prior in graveyard, we'll send a Zushin for setup for follow-up play on the next turn.
All right.
And then we will link summon Hulk using Revealer and Hex Spirit. Hulk will then summon a Sitri from the deck, and that sets up for your summoned Big Trish.
All right.
So the way you make Big Trish is the exact same way you make Satellite Warrior. You summon Powered and Zektron and Quandax. But since you have one more material, instead of going to the level 10 Satellite Warrior, we'll go into the level 11 Trish Zero. You take it. Huh. Do we even have that card?
Yes and no. It does exist in the TCG. I think it's
it's a manga promo probably.
Yeah. I don't believe we have it in the States.
I see.
I think it's a Europe only card.
So
my brother plays like these crazy Karakuri combo decks, and both of this card's on-field effects, if you like summon it, because it's a 0/0 fiend, he would bring it back with Dark Spirit Gates. You'd summon it twice, and it pretty much says you can't activate hand traps, because it says you can't activate cards from your hand, and you can't activate spells or traps.
I see.
So you just use it twice.
Does the other gate do anything?
Once per turn, when this card in your pendulum zone, you can while this card's in your pendulum zone, you can negate an activated trap effect that would inflict damage. Doesn't really do anything. He's probably gonna pen summon.
That's probably what I was thinking.
We don't really want him to stick two monsters on the board and to make Gilgamesh, I would say. So we kind of want him to commit to the pen summon, or at least the battle phase.
Yes, because we can't fire it off in battle phase because lets you quick synchro during the main or battle.
Okay.
All right. So from here,
this
he's probably going to fire off. He's probably going to fire off Copernicus to send a card. So probably negate that probably.
Yeah, we don't want him to send Lamia.
He's deciding. It's a real thinker. Does Abyss King do anything? Doesn't it just revive on summon? Yeah, that's spell speed 1, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, we'll probably ash that. And then keep Always Chain on.
And then
because now we're going to,
banish all the monsters.
We're going to fire off Sitri and Hulk. Now, we're going to summon Skullmeister, obviously. Now, Trish does miss timing, so we'll have to use Quandax on an open game state. So whenever this chain resolves, we'll activate whenever Powered and Zektron resolves, we'll fire off Quandax. So yeah, still gonna summon Quandax.
On the resolution of this chain.
The resolution after Powered and Zektron resolves. And now you can fire it off. Because they still made it this timing, which is pretty fun.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be an Ice Barrier deck if it didn't have something wrong with it.
Alright, and now we trish them on their own turn, which is pretty funny. And I guess we'll just banish all three of their dudes, because their scales don't really matter in this case, because you already pin summoned.
Wow. Nice 5-card combo to end on a big giant Trishula. Rebanish. I'm not sure how much I like this combo, but this is kind of the standard, right?
That's one of the things you do. A friend of mine made it like a more grindy version of the deck, but I thought it'd be more fun to just trish on my opponent's turn.
Alright.
Well, we can fire off Winds here. Winds is your amazing recovery play for Revealer, of course. I imagine his set card is probably going to be Witch.
Yeah, Dark Contract,
because
which doesn't do much.
Yes, because he has nothing in hand. Oh, it is Pin Switch.
That card's decent.
What is... Target a card in your pin zone, special summon it. Do either things do anything if they're summoned?
I don't think they do anything when they're summoned. This one has a just tribute it to do something. What does this one do? I've never seen Newton summoned.
You could discard this card, target one DD or Dark Contract card, and you can accept attitude. Oh, it does something. Oh, and they surrender.
He said nope. Just like his username.
Well.
Alright. That was match. So, we're gonna try and play one more, only because, I feel like we didn't get a full game and we took like 20 minutes to start since I started the stream. Maybe we didn't take that long. I'm kicking Legacy Crusaders. Get out of here.
He doesn't seem to like you very much, or he's just a troll.
I mean, it's probably someone in the stream, which is fine.
They're gonna stream snipe us, I guess.
Maybe. Or they're just gonna play something silly like,
the Ice Barrier Mirror Man.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, I just don't see why I would, play a game with someone who might be stream sniping unless they, like, ask in advance or something.
That's fair, that's fair.
Just to be safe. No point in giving people a game that is super biased. That or they are thinking I'm a hater of some sort. They're right, I hate a lot of things, specifically ice barriers. So the other deck we were going to do, just so everyone knows, was Galaxy Eyes. So that'll be another day. Having a little difficulty getting.
Apparently, more people wanted to see ice barriers than Galaxy Eyes, it seems.
Yes, my tiny poll with like 134. I bet it's the same guy. Oh, he kicked himself. Oh. Fantastic. All right, so I made like a poll. It has like 150 votes. Ice Barrier was in the lead by like barely. I think currently Adamancer Prank Kids is in the lead, but I don't have someone for it anymore. I had someone for it. All right, let's see what the troll is playing.
Let's see. We're going first, second. We are going second. Our hand. We didn't know any hand traps, but depending on what our opponent is doing, you're playing Eldritch, it seems. We should be fine. And then because we opened one-off Reborn. Hopefully it's not Stun Eldritch. That would be a hamper on my... Ah! That fixes things quite nicely. I guess we'll fire off a Medallion. Because that is the one card that is not once per turn in our hand. Grabbing ourselves a Revealer, like all. And we will fire off the Revealer from our hand.
Now we will get conked.
That's fine. Be a Reborn.
That's like getting conked. Reborn?
In this case, since we have nothing else yet.
Now let's get Hakero'd.
Well, if they have Conk Hakero, it doesn't. Well, none of the face out is Conk, so now we will fire off a Mirror Mess Revealer. I keep wanting to say we will not pitch Winds. We'll pitch. We already normal summoned, so we will pitch a Zushin. Summoning Hex Spirit. Now, Conk doesn't really matter too much anymore. We'll fire off Hex Spirit. Sending a Prior. And at this point, since we want to play around something, we'll fire off a Winds. We'll tribute both monsters in this case. Since I feel like if they had asked, they would have asked that. We'll summon Speaker and Strategist.
I don't remember which one that is.
It's not those. You gotta scroll over for it.
Ah.
There he is. We'll fire off Strategist. Free draw.
Banishing.
Banishing. Revealer. Yep. That's not terrible.
Not at all.
I guess at this point, we will fire off a. We'll go into at this point we'll go into Bahamut Toad. I don't think he'll let Bahamut stick, but
That's if he has the out.
you might just not have it. No, we'll pitch Speaker, send Speaker, specifically. Yeah,
That way we have our
because
token in
Speaker has the
graveyard.
grave effect to banish to summon a token.
All right, neither of those things are a Eldritch.
So he did have Hawk. I guess you had the read on him. Summon it prior to the yeah. Things are a little weird now because I kind of wish he fired this off earlier, but we should be fine regardless. We can then probably just. Do you think we should beat over them, or should we just let them sit there since we don't want to give them Eldritch access?
Well, they can't activate during this end phase, but we can put them ahead.
I suppose. Since we can't really go into anything else, I suppose we'll just go into the battle. So we don't want to link off our Toad we just made. We'll go into the battle phase. Clean up, I suppose, since I bet he will be going into something next turn, most likely. Unfortunately, Bahamut cannot attack the turn he uses its effect, but we do have Skullmeister, which I believe affects cards, not monsters, right?
It affects
not to
activations.
Skullmeister.
Oh,
No, Skullmeister in the hand.
yeah, activated effects.
Cards. So that was a good draw then. All right. We can't really do much else because we don't have an ice barrier on the field past turn.
We will next turn.
But we do have setup for next turn because we have a Winds in graveyard. We have Speaker in graveyard, and we have Wayne in hand. The reason we couldn't summon Wayne is because we didn't have our opponent did not catch the board, and Wayne requires your opponent to have a monster in order to summon it from hand. With its own effect. I imagine they'll be sending Toad. I guess we can negate it. It won't steal, but I suppose it is funny.
So it doesn't actually matter. Well, there's no reason to start a chain. I guess we're going to activate it anyway. Whatever.
And then Toad will add back one. In this case, we will add back our. Since we don't want Zushin in graveyard for its own effect, we'll add back Speaker. Because Zushin's second effect, it lets you target a level 3 or higher ice barrier you control. Since he wants to put Eldritch on the board, and since I doubt he has a way of getting, probably negate that, since he seems to not have anything else.
Well, either way,
even if he has Scarlet, it's still just summoning one from deck on our turn.
Well, he's going to get 2 Scarlet because he's going to put a Hakero engraved now.
Even so, that still summons that, and we can always just we should be able to drop Trish on our turn, depending on what he has set up. All right. Hopefully, that set card is not Conk, but in any case, he will get double Scarlet, which in this case Oh, he's going for Black Awakenings.
Oh, well,
Instead
the set
of
card
White
is,
Elixir.
The set card's forever.
Ah, yes, Forever. Well, does Forever attribute Eldritch specifically, or just zombies?
I think.
No, I don't see it played anymore.
While you control an Eldritch monster.
So he'll have to shotgun one of those. He'll have to shotgun Scarlet.
Well, Scarlet's probably coming down now.
Well, he's taking a long time on that other set.
I mean, it's very difficult to pick the one other card you can set in your deck.
I mean, does he want White Elixir, or does he want Scarlet Sanguine?
I mean, it doesn't actually matter, because Golden Lord's already in the graveyard, so it accomplishes the same thing either way. The question is, which hand trap do we have to stop one? Like, if we had Ash, then getting White Destiny would make more sense. If we had Bell, then it doesn't matter.
He is chosen with Scarlet. This actually makes things a lot simpler. We're going to fire off. We're going to first start off with normal summoning a speaker. Since our opponent has not committed to the board, I think that'd be best since we don't have to worry about golden lands forever. See, now we fired that off. Right. Now we will. Since we don't need it, we'll attempt to fire General Wayne.
Well, Wayne's a big threat to all these trap cards.
So Wayne will summon, and then we'll activate Wayne's effect. He's letting it resolve. In this case, since we've already normal summoned, but it doesn't matter, we will grab our... It negates activations, so we will grab Clear Wall. Or Freezing Chains, my bad. Since it negates activations, it has an activation clause, not an clause. So we'll fire off... So we're going to fire off Winds in the graveyard.
The Winds is going to add back to hand.
Add back Revealer from our Bandage Stone to our hand. Yeah.
Oh, Grave or Bandage Stone. Cool.
And then we're gonna normal summon that.
Oh, we already normaled.
Oh yes. Okay, I forgot about that. Well, it doesn't matter. We'll fire off Freezing Chains. It was banished, so it's not like we could revive it anyways. We will be targeting Hextith Spirit. We will then be firing off Hexus. It's 4, 5, 9, 10, 11. So we need to make it a level 3. 5, 3 is 11, correct?
5. Wait, I'm sorry, what?
4 plus 5 plus 3 is 11.
4 plus 5 is 9. We need a 2.
9, 10, 11. So you're saying prior then.
But can we chain block it?
So now... Unfortunately, we cannot chain block it, but it will bait it out, and if he pops it, it will get its other effect to summon Trish from our extra deck. So we'll then go into our... Well then, actually, in
maybe
this
we should
case,
battle and just get this thing banished first?
No. In this case, we'll probably... First off, we need to... Actually... He only has what sets
it's
Black Elixir and Golden Lance Forever.
Yeah.
So that's probably the better option. Is probably going into battle and clearing off his board.
Oh, we can just attack Overlord.
Yeah. And then attacking into that, and since it is still a trap, it's on the.
Yeah, it's always treated as a trap.
And then we'll just poke in for 100. Alright, since we don't have to worry about Golden Lance Forever, we'll go to main 2. And now we'll go to Big Trish to clear off his remaining problematic cards.
Get stomped. Into the Bandage Zone.
It sets them back pretty well. And then we'll fire up Zushin Engrave. Targeting our Trish. It will reduce its level by 2 and summon itself. And then we'll fire off... What's in our graveyard currently? Here, you tab over to the whole thing. Okay, so yeah, we'll activate Speaker's Affecting Grave. Summoning the token. And then we'll activate Winds in our hand. Tributing the 2 monsters we just summoned. Yeah, to get ourselves a strategist.
I don't remember which one that is.
It's the old dude. Oh, did we already use strategist?
Yeah, we did.
That's better. Then we'll summon Defender and Warlock. And we'll set Freezing Chains since we can't activate it. And
did we go fiber?
Well, we can hack. What's left in our extra deck though?
Insectron. Did we use a big Trish?
No, this is our looking at our extra deck. What's left in the extra deck? We got Quandax, we got Zectron. We have not used Citrate, correct?
No.
So then, yeah, we can then link off our Defender and our Bahamut Shark. Since Trishula is also an Ice Barrier monster, our opponent will be playing under Anti-Spell.
Okay. And that's our turn, yeah?
Yep. Because that sets us up for Satellite Warrior or Phoenix. What's our opponent's graveyard, by the way?
Lord...
They got 1 Sanguine.
2 Lords.
2 Lords, 1 Sanguine, alright. I was saying... Okay. Since we know we're playing against Eldritch, we could go into Phoenix instead and banish their stuff if they decide to set a lot of back row.
Well, actually, odds are this was going to happen. Now he can't be destroyed by card effects, right?
If he summons it, yes.
The question is, will he attack the right card? Well, maybe now we should probably get Phoenix, because this is going to send a land.
Yeah, I was going to say Phoenix, although he will just chain... What's it called? I was going to say, on our opponent has said we...
Does Phoenix
I didn't think
float?
about it fast enough. My bad. Phoenix... Not... Does Phoenix what?
Does it do something was destroyed? Because I know Quarrying Gandrak summoned something.
Quarrying... A Phoenix will summon a monster from our graveyard if it's killed.
Okay, so maybe we should probably go for the banish, or maybe we can give... I guess we can give him the chance to try and set a card.
That or commit to the battle phase.
Oh,
because if we commit
phase, so...
Now we can... Oh, let's... Wait, actually, I was going to say before we do that, we'll summon Skullmeister since that's the least important card in our graveyard.
Is there something else we should have waited for?
I was going to say, if we waited for it to see what he's attacking, we could have done something else. But I guess it doesn't matter. You try to wait for to see what he's going to attack, to see what we should do.
Well, we could still do that. Because this doesn't really give away info yet.
No. He might try to attack over Warlock. No, he's going to attack into Hulk, so I guess we'll chain Hulk. Since we already used Trish, we can't use Shooting Rise in the battle phase.
So Quandax. What can we make with Quandax? Satellite Warrior. Right?
I did them. Yes, I did the math wrong day. I thought it.
That's alright. I guess we're just letting our guy die this time. That's fine. Alright, whatever.
Yeah.
Alright, he got it. That's okay. We'll still win. I don't know how we're going to beat 3,500 attack points. Hello in chat, Nexus. We are facing Eldritch. And they have all the ways to summon Lord, and now they have a Conquistador.
Alright. What's in our graveyard currently that we can activate?
Well, activatable cards is just this thing.
Wins. At this point in our extra deck, we still have normal Trish, am I right?
There should be a normal attrition here.
Alright. Okay. You could probably make this work. We'll fire off Winds in the graveyard. Let's see if you can stop any. Just to see. And he still has Forever, which is bad, but it's at the end of the world. Since we have a 6/3, we can't. Do we have the? What's our graveyard currently? The whole thing. No, not there's.
We have Zushin
Yes.
still.
Okay. No, that's banished, but we do not need that current.
Well, if we add
we
it
will
back,
grab.
we can put it in grave, and then bring it back. And
Its
reduce...
effect to bring it back. You can only do it on turn, except it's sent to the graveyard.
Oh, okay.
So since we can actually, in this case, we'll fire off. We'll add General Wayne, since we can just summon it for free.
I love summoning Wayne. Wayne's the man. All
And
right.
then we can just fire off Wayne. Since our opponent has a monster and we have an ice barrier. And then fire off Wayne's effect. Since we are under anti-spell, but that won't matter, we'll grab Medallion for right now. Now we really need to start just playing through stuff, so we'll summon probably Coral and Enemy. Using Warlock and Wayne. Unfortunately, we can't use Paladin Sectron, but that should be fine.
What's he gonna pop?
Alright, he's choosing to conk here, which is fine. Because we still have a Freezing Chain set and a Medallion in hand and Review.
Hello, Grim Reaper 01. We're also recording for video, so...
Oh, he's popping that, so we could...
But do we want to lose our Trish?
That's the thing. Is he still has a... We will summon Trish. Because this is just game. Unless he has another card. Never not, unless he has something else. Oh.
Have we summoned twice? We did.
We have most indeed summoned twice. That is unfortunate. I guess we will be firing... I guess we can... This is a stinker. I guess we can go to... Do we want to attack over Conk?
Doesn't hurt at this point.
I suppose that's right. We could just probably just smack over Conk at this point. Also, it is known if we could then, and then on our follow-up turn, switch in main phase 2, switch in Zectron to attack. Because Eldritch will go back down to 25, so we'll have to crash, and then set impermanence in a summon limit column. And don't fire off Medallion, so that way, because we don't need anything to search right now, so we can just, and it's not once per turn, so we can just wait to fire it off another turn. So I guess, since we can't summon, we'll just pass.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if he did that, for you to summon Trish at 33 and have their attack.
Well, at least we still have the Trish now. Not that we're necessarily going to be able to make it.
We can still make it, actually. Because if we still have another speaker in deck, I believe. And we still have a Hex Spear in deck. Because we only have one in grave, right?
Well, it's the under summon limit, and because we're probably going to have to negate the big train now, so we're going to be stuck under summon limit.
It's the train. It's a train.
So, otherwise,
are we dead here? If he attacks into all our...
Well, he'll be 6,000. He can attack in for
like
4.
4K. Yeah, that's lethal, so we have to negate it.
Yeah. I'm not sure. He might still be able to summon Lord now, because he can activate Lord despite having summoned twice. Oh, we also turned off summon limit, because of course.
I want to do that in our turn, but I suppose I don't know. I don't really see Eldritch playing the trains anymore, so I guess I didn't expect him to go into it.
I only put him on the trains because of Forever, so it seems like a more pure Eldritch deck. The stun slow Eldritch decks tend to be
That's fair.
All right.
It's a shame we're gonna lose to Summon Limit of all things.
Yeah, we were pretty close. Unfortunately, we are not doing a tag duel because this is recorded for video. So the video is how to play Ice Barrier, so I can't do a tag duel during the video. Maybe afterwards?
I will say, we can make Brionic and try to bounce the Summon Limit.
Well, we got to play with 2 summons, so I don't think we can do anything.
Well, we'll fire off... I guess we can fire off Medallion. Well, we don't really need to bait off hand traps, but we'll still fire off Medallion. Just to see what we have left in the deck.
Yeah, seeing the options is not a bad thing.
Alright, so we still have Speaker. We still have another Hex Spirit, so in this case we'll grab... we will grab a... I guess we'll just grab Wayne. Because we don't really need Hex Spirit. Alright, we can do this under 2 summons. We'll summon... Revealer. And then... Are we worried about hand traps? At this point in the game?
No.
Alright, I was gonna say we could probably just pitch the Called by the Grave. If he has the Ash, that'd be sad. But summon Hex Spirit. And then we can Hex Spirit's effect.
Well, that's our
pitch
summons. We're out of stuff.
Are we out of all our... Oh, I guess we are out of all our dudes. I thought we only used 1 prior to this duel.
I think that's it, because he's just going to attack and we're dead.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll
That
get him in
is
game
the game,
2
unfortunately.
We'll just have to side for the floodgates.
That is unfortunate. Alright.
Well, we have 1 side card. They didn't want to play game 2. I guess they have to win while they have floodgates in. That's okay. We'll go back to the main deck and see if there's anything we need to discuss. Alrighty, so we're back on the deck list. Is there anything that didn't come up in the games that's worth mentioning?
Well, the main combo that we didn't get to see is really just Revealer and like either Speaker or Silent Angler.
Well, let's we can actually run. Whoops. I was gonna do a test hand where we don't shuffle our hand and we'll just put it in our hand. So
Revealer and Speaker, and then like the full combo, the normal combo you like to do is just Revealer and Speaker. Full combo would be Revealer, Speaker, and then just 1 more extender. But so what you would do is
let me put that in the hand and we'll just run it twice.
Probably put it should be fine.
Alright. So what is the actual combo?
So like the full like main combo, if you open the best hand, would be normaling
Normal Revealer.
And then since it's special Speaker and then special Silent Angler. Silent Angler can be really any like extender you can get. Then we'll activate the effect. Then we'll activate the effect of Revealer, pitching whatever, summon a Hex Spirit from our deck, and then we will overlay our Revealer and our Speaker for Bahamut. And then detaching specifically Speaker from our to summon Toad, probably to the far right zone. And then you will be making Hulk using our additional... Well, I guess you didn't need the additional extender because in this case, but you could use Hex Spirit. It's not like it matters, but you can fire off Hex Spirit for grave setup. Either you would want to dump, depending on the rest of your hand, you would dump... Actually, since we have the option, you want to dump specifically Warlock. And then you will make Correlate Enemy using our additional extender and Bahamut. and then you will be reviving back Warlock. And then you will use Hexa Spirit and Coil an enemy to go into Hulk. Summoning Citri from deck. And then lastly, you'll banish Speaker from Grave to summon the token. What this does is it gives you a Toad Negate, a anti-spell fragrance, and if your opponent goes into battle to try to beat over Warlock, you can quick synchro into Big Trish during your opponent's battle phase.
Okay, that's a pretty solid play. That requires the extra extender, right?
This requires specifically to make. What you would need is to go into the Toad and Crystron and Halka Fibrex play. You just need Revealer and a level 4 extender. To go into this play specifically, you would need to go into the Big Trish play. You need specifically Speaker, and then to go into this, you need Revealer, Speaker, and then an additional extender. It's not that bad of a combo because you have 3 each. You have 3 Medallion, and then you also have Winds, which can technically act as any extender depending on what if you have Ice Berries in your hand. I could even include Prior because we don't summon any level 5 or higher monsters with this combo. So Prior could just act as a free summon.
Okay. Alright. Go back to deck list real quick and see if there's anything else that's worth mentioning before we sign off. Was there anything else that didn't come up? I feel like our spell trap removal was really light.
Yeah, the side deck I just kind of threw together. You could obviously put in like more back row. Ice Barriers don't really themselves have any archetypal outs to back row besides either their Synchros or I guess Dance Princess, but that's not a very good card, so you don't play it.
Fair. You don't need to play bad cards.
The only thing that I guess we didn't show off in the game was the reason why I run Defender. But we kind of did because Defender could tag with each other if you open if your opponent tries to hand trap you and you have just those and you have just 2 Ice Bears on the field, say like any random one and say a token, you could summon Defender Warlock, which can put up a pretty solid lock. Because your opponent's locked out of spells and they can't attack if they have 1600 or more attack.
How often are monsters affected by that attack stat?
Honestly, most of the monsters nowadays are kind of big. This Tritron, everything's 2k or over. I'm not sure about Virtual because honestly, surprisingly, I've done a lot of testing, but I haven't played much against Virtual World. Right. So I don't know how much Defender as well. We showed off why we played the one Strategist because Strategist is just a free draw whenever you summon it off win.
Seems like a solid late game card.
That too.
The other thing I was thinking about is we didn't get into Phoenix. I feel like we would have had to have committed early to a Shooting Riser Dragon to have done it.
Shooting Riser only works during the main phase, but that's mostly when you're going to be fire Phoenix off. It's the same play as Satellite Warrior, but instead of summoning Quandrax with Hulk, you'll summon Shooting Riser. Shooting Riser will bin a level 4, which most of the time you would want to bin Speaker because you can just summon another token during your turn. So that's a 3 and a 6, which makes a 9.
Okay. So it reduces its level by the level of the Scent Monster, right? Or does it reduce it to the level of the Scent Monster?
No. It reduces based on the level you send. So if you send a 4, it reduces it.
It loses 4 and goes to 3?
Yeah.
Alright, fantastic. How do we make Dragite? I feel like that didn't really come up either.
Level 8s surprisingly are kind of weird to make. You would need, most of the time you make them is either with Wayne and a level 3, and you make Hexasphere a level 3. Or you can summon, or you can make Hexasphere to 2 and summon it with Powered Insectron if you didn't go to the full thing. Or if you want to on your opponent's turn, instead of going into Phoenix, you can instead, if your opponent isn't committing much back row to the board and like say they just like set one or something, and like set and like just make a weird board. Instead of sending a level 4, you would send a level 5 Wayne, which would make shooting riser level 2. So 2 and 6 makes the level 8.
Okay, so we do have ways into it.
I will say conversely, I don't know if you would like to pull it up or not. You can play White Aura Whale.
I love White Aura Whale. I was actually surprised it wasn't on the list. But,
I've gone in between playing either White Aura or Dragite. Dragite's just a solid like gate of any back row, while the White Aura Whale is really good to make whenever you're going quick synchroing, because it's sort of like Mirror Force because it pops all attack position monsters.
All right. The other thing I was thinking is 2 Coral Anemone didn't really come up, whereas a second Toad might have. Why are we on Anemone at 2?
I like playing 2 Anemone because it's really good for like if you need to grind, because an enemy just takes 2 water and you have a plethora of waves of getting multiple waters on the field, and usually by like mid to late game you would have like a Wayne and a Prior in your graveyard because you would either dump or search them previously. So whenever you get make Coral Anemone, you can revive back Prior contribute to summon like Wayne or Revealer, and which can then do further plays. It's just a solid revival.
Okay, I was thinking it was probably just because if we have the broken first turn combo, the really good turn 1 combo, you just want this in there later for grind.
That is true. But I would say if you wanted to play a second Toad, I would honestly put the Abyss Dweller. Because usually when I make a Abyss Dweller, it's after I've made Bahamut Toad, and I want to make another rank 4.
Okay, so you're almost always going into Dweller after you've used Bahamut. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess if you knew the matchup, you might commit to playing Dweller first.
That's what. Yeah, like if I knew I was playing against like a very graveyard focused deck, I would probably go into Dweller first.
Maybe we'll have to side that second Toad or something for that matchup. Or when we know it's not useful, like if we don't have a use for Dweller, you might as well maybe side in a Toad. I don't know. Either way, seems like this deck is still in the process of getting figured out. I think I've seen most combos have been pretty similar. I'm only aware that people were talking about the Team Sam build.
Oh yes, that's why all the Krishan cards got bought out.
Yeah, is there anything else you're aware of that people have been trying that wasn't in this deck that might be worth discussing?
There is a General Raiho of the Ice Barrier. I don't know if you know what that one does or not.
I have no idea.
That one, if your opponent activates a monster effect on they also have to discard a card. You could play that alongside. You could play like that. You could play like 2 Wayne and that. That can act as additional like floodgate of sorts because it requires your opponents to just commit more resources into making plays. I try to cut down on the number of 5 or higher Ice Bears are playing because you can't summon them with Winds or Freezing Chains. You can only summon them with either Prior, which summons it from the grave, or Zushin, which summons it. But it is a card you could consider playing.
All right. I think that kind of covers everything. So, if anybody in the chat has any questions before we sign off on how to Ice Barriers, make sure you speak up. Otherwise, I think we're done. Yuri, anything else you can think of that you want to mention?
Not really. This is mostly just what I've been tinkering with and playing for like the past while now.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, I think that's going to wrap this up. So once again, if you guys are a big fan of the How to Play series, just leave a like on the video and subscribe, leave some comments, say what you want to see in the next episode. I think we're doing Galaxy Eyes at some point. We've got to find a day for that. And if anyone's interested in joining the Legacy Crusaders Discord server, it's called the How to Yugioh server now, right? I think my server's name is.
Yes, it is.
Discord server link will be in the description. I think this stream doesn't have the appropriate description at the moment, so when I do get that together, it'll be there. But everyone, like the video, subscribe if you want to see more how-tos in the future, and we will see you guys next time. All right, cool. I'll be editing I'll probably have to take this off YouTube at some point and just edit it, throw in the intro and some other stuff. But that went pretty well. I was concerned just because it's like a new deck. I didn't think how well together can it really be put together so soon.
I mean, my friend has been working on another variant. It's a more grindy version of the deck that doesn't quick synchro on your opponent's turn. Yeah, her list is crazy. Not know how to pilot it very well.
All right. Well, I don't know. Sometimes people have crazy cool lists that people just aren't familiar with. I'm definitely not familiar with these weird lists.
I build it like this because I thought it'd be funny to quick synchro Trish on the opponent's turn.
I mean, I like it. I'm down with quick synchroing on their turn. The only problem that seems to be there is that it seems a little challenging to have anything in your hand if things go wrong.
Yeah, well,